Sideline gospel sensation. Motivation and inspiration for your intelligent nation. Let's talk about it. It's the Mary W. Robinson Show.
Welcome to the broadcast. My guest today is Alan S. Wilson. He's the author of The Manufacturer's Manual, Discovering the Purpose of You. You can find out more information about Alan S. Wilson by going to his website, alanswilson.com. Our conversation today is discovering the purpose of your existence. Alan S. Wilson, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me on your broadcast.
Oh, my pleasure. Well, actually, you've been on the broadcast before, so thank you for being a reoccurring guest. This book, The Manufacturer's Manual. Well, first of all, let's just start. Why did you feel so impressed and inspired to write this book, The Manufacturer's Manual?
Well, I felt, first of all, the Lord had led me, but on top of that, I felt there was a necessity to help people to understand the manufacturer's point of view, how the product should operate, to give the product, some guidelines on how we should conduct ourselves, both personally, privately, and also in public. Because only the manufacturer knows what he has placed within the product in order for the product to yield the results that we want. So when we purchase a DVD player or a computer or something like that, the manufacturer actually places within the context a manual or a pamphlet. And that pamphlet and that manual tells you pretty much how the do's and don'ts, how to use the product, and how to get the best results out of that particular product. Well, the manufacturer, being the Father, the creator of all things, God, created us, his product, in order to do something in the earth that needs to be done. Just like the manufacturer of a product is producing a service or a product to render a service necessary to us. That's why we buy a particular product, whether a DVD player or a computer or whatever it may be. But the manufacturer, the creator of all things, is the same way. He created us, put the components, the functions and features within each and every one of us in order to yield a particular result, to solve a problem in the earth that needed it. And only you can solve it, or I can solve it individually to help humanity and help advance his cause.
All right. So let's be clear. Are you saying that, because, you know, your book title is kind of interesting. It says The Manufacturer's Manual. Now, are you saying that your book is a manual that the manufacturer has, downloaded in you? Or, which I suspect is true, your book really kind of explains how the Bible is the manufacturer's manual and gives insights into discovering your purpose?
Right. So the second part. So this book is more or less a guideline, and what it does is pretty much lean or encourages the reader to go to the manual, the Bible, for him or herself, and also to seek the manufacturer or the creator of all things. The book itself is not it doesn't answer all the questions, but it does give some guidelines on how the manufacturer, how the creator of all things sees things. It kind of encourages the reader to develop a relationship, because it's really all about relationship. And as we develop a relationship with the manufacturer or with the creator of all things, then our purpose becomes a little bit more clearer. We start to understand some things about how he has designed us, our ways, what we like, our dislike, both individually, but also even in a group.
Now, does every human that has ever existed have purpose? And if they do, what is the danger of them not discovering that purpose before they make their transition?
Well, yes. So roughly 6.3 billion people on the face of the earth, give or take. So has Everyone has a purpose. Everyone has a destiny. Everyone has a reason for existence. And if he or she does not connect to the manufacturer in some way through a relationship, what happens is he or she can misuse or abuse the components or what the product is, or not use the product physically or mentally, spiritually, intellectually, or misuse misuse. Let me add this also: misuse or abuse the resources that are necessary for the product, us, to navigate through this life. Because he has placed certain things in our hands, such as materials such as gold and diamonds, and I'm just naming a few things. You can go through the periodic table for those who understand chemistry. All these things that we have discovered, as it were, placed in the earth for the product, us, to use, to advance, and to not only be happy, but also to help us advance his cause and help humanity become better.
Got it. Talking today with Alan S. Wilson. He's the author of The Manufacturer's Manual, Discovering the Purpose of Your Existence. When we come back from the break, Alan, I want to talk about, because you say self-awareness and self-understanding are unquestioned traits a person must possess to live a centered and balanced life. I want to talk about that when we come back from the break, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, you're listening to The Larry W. Robinson Show. I'll have more after this.
Stay tuned for the Larry W. Robinson Show.
Friend, did you hear about the big gospel event happening this weekend?
Yes, I saw the flyer in Gospel Updates e-magazine.
Me too. I can't wait.
Where can I get a copy of the Gospel Updates e-magazine?
It is free. Download it from gospelupdates.com.
For the who, what, why, when, and where in the gospel community, visit gospelupdates.com and download the latest issue of the Gospel Updates e-magazine. That's gospelupdates.com.
You're listening to The Larry W. Robinson Show.
Thank you for tuning in to the Larry W. Robinson Show. I'm your host, Larry W. Robinson, still talking with Alan S. Wilson. He is the author of The Manufacturer's Manual, Discovering the Purpose of You. Now, before the break, we shared that, Alan, you say that self-awareness and self-understanding are unquestioned traits a person must possess to live a centered and balanced life. Tell the listening audience what you mean by that.
Understanding. Let's start before we get to understanding. Let's go with knowledge. So we go with knowledge, understanding. Another word for understanding is comprehending, and then we can go into application. So unless you're connected, you need to be connected to the manufacturer to understand who you are, what you are, and the components he has placed within each and every one of us. So that's where the self-awareness comes in. So as you're connected and stay connected with him, you become more self-aware of those things that he has placed within you. But if you're disconnected from him, which some of us are, what happens is you're not aware of what he has placed in you. And then if you're not aware of it, you will misuse or abuse those things. So as you stay connected with him, what happens is you gain more understanding how to use the features, the functions, the components that he has placed within you.
You know what, Alan? I was talking to a young brother. I want to say he's like 21 or 22. And of course, just watching the news and watching social media. And he was just sharing about, just seeing images and videos of people of color, especially black men, being shot and just killed, et cetera, et cetera. And so he was like, well, he was trying to just, grapple in his mind about his value, of course, the young men value, and then what we see on TV and what we see on social media, and how you would think because of the way people are being shot down, that they don't have value. What advice do you have for a person that sees those images, watch the videos, see the news, see people gunned down, and then, if you watch that a lot, you'll think, well, maybe we really don't have value. What's your thoughts and what's your advice for someone that has gotten to that place?
Well, I would say watch less TV, less social media, and more getting to know the manufacturer and his manual for himself. See, we become, whether we realize it or not, and this is how we are designed. We become what we see. We become what we hear. No matter how intelligent we think we are, no matter where we're at socially, politically, economically, so to speak, humans become pretty much what they hear and see or what they're exposed to over a period of time. So we have to be careful, and you have to do that. Really, I have to do that on purpose. There's certain things I just don't watch or pay attention to. Now, there's certain things I will look at in terms of keeping up with the news and what's going on. But there's certain things I just don't bother with because it doesn't benefit the product, me, the product, or what's on the inside of me, or help me build up what I need. Or help me, use the weapons or the tools that he has placed within me. And I spent some time in the military, so I understand that in order for a military man, in order for him to do his job, he has to have certain tools, but he has to take the time and training to learn how to use those tools. And that means he has to take time away from the norm and use those tools to become experts. So when he needs to use those, especially when he's under pressure.
That's good. That's good. Well, I do have a quick question. Do you think that some of these images and videos that we're seeing, you think is intentional to train our mind and to program us as such? Yes.
So I think that we become what we see. We become what we hear. And the bottom line is, a lot of it is for the love of money.
Gotcha.
That's the bottom line. The more eyeballs you get on the TV.
Wow, yeah, you're right.
That's the bottom line. So so what we need to do is be discriminate. We need to be aware of that because a lot of it doesn't benefit us as men, black men, or Caucasian men, or Asian men at all. In any shape or fashion or form, and anyway. And I need everything. I don't know about you, Brother Larry, but I need all the weapons at my disposal. And I need to learn how to use those weapons at my disposal. So sometimes I just, I tune things out that need to be tuned, and I do that on purpose, and not allow myself to be distracted.
Gotcha. Well, you know what? Even the Bible says that we're made in the image and likeness of God. And so your book, The Manufacturer's Manual, Discovering the Purpose of You, helps you take the Bible, which is the manual. We used to say when we were coming up in vacation Bible school that the Bible is basic instructions before leaving Earth, which is the acronym for Bible. Your book helps break down that and gives you a guideline on how to interpret the Bible. And then, of course, be able to discover the purpose of you, which is the product, and God being the manufacturer. Alan S. Wilson, this was enlightening. Thank you for sharing your time and wisdom with us today. Any final thoughts and comments you'd like to leave with the listening audience, and what website they can go to obtain a copy of your book?
Well, stay focused to my brothers in Christ. Stay focused on the manufacturer, the creator of all things. Don't allow yourself to be distracted, and get around some good people that'll help you and to assist you in your growth process. And you can go to my website, www.ALLENS, S as in Samuel, WILSON.com, AlanSWilson.com, to purchase the book or take a look at what it's on the website.
All right. Alan S. Wilson, thank you for being a guest on the broadcast today.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
It's the Larry W. Robinson Show. inspirations, spotlighting gospel sensation. Motivation and inspiration for your eternal destination.